My name's Mark Thompson, a 42-year-old accountant living in a century-old high-rise in Chicago's Loop. For 12 years, I thought my life with Emily, my 40-year-old graphic designer wife, was as good as it gets. We'd laugh over takeout pizza, plan weekend getaways, and dream about retiring to a cabin by Lake Michigan. But lately, something's been off. Emily's been distant, always on her phone, taking calls she won't explain, and slipping out for work meetings that stretch past midnight. I tried to chalk it up to stress, but my gut screamed trouble. Last night, I couldn't sleep. It was 2 a.m. and Emily wasn't home, another client dinner, she'd said. I stood by our 10th floor window, staring into the courtyard, when I saw him. Ethan Carter, our neighbor across the way. He's a wiry guy in his mid-30s, always alone, with a stare that makes your skin crawl. There he was on his balcony, aiming a camera right at our apartment. In his other hand, a smartphone, its screen glowing, and a knife catching the moonlight as he muttered to himself. My heart pounded like a drum. Was he watching us? Watching her? I grabbed my phone to call Emily, but my hands froze when a text buzzed from an unknown number. Check the basement, Mark. They're watching. My blood ran cold. Basement? Our building only has a parking garage, or so I thought. I wanted to confront Ethan right then, but the knife in his hand and the darkness outside stopped me. I locked the balcony door, double-checked the deadbolt, and paced the living room, my mind racing. Was Emily safe? Was she even at a meeting? I flashed back to our 10th anniversary 2 years ago. Emily had surprised me with a rooftop dinner, her eyes sparkling as she promised we'd grow old together. That memory clashed with the image of her now, distracted, secretive, slipping away. Had I missed something? I sank onto the couch, trying to calm down, but Ethan's camera lens burned in my mind. What was he after? By morning, Emily was back, sipping coffee at our kitchen island like nothing was wrong. Her auburn hair was tied up, but her eyes. I watched her scroll through her phone, barely looking at me. Hey, Em, I said, keeping my voice casual. You ever notice Ethan, the guy across the courtyard? He's weird, right? Her eyes flicked up and she gave a tight smile. Ethan? Just a loner with no life, Mark. Why? Her hand trembled as she set her mug down and she quickly changed the subject. I've got a deadline today. Gotta run. She kissed my cheek and left, her perfume lingering like a ghost. Her reaction didn't sit right. I couldn't shake the image of Ethan's knife or that text. I'm not proud of what I did next, but paranoia got the better of me. While Emily was at her studio, I grabbed her phone from the counter. She'd left it charging, something she never does. My hands shook as I punched in her passcode, our anniversary date. There it was, a text from E. Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again. Sent at 11 p.m. when she was supposedly with clients. My stomach twisted. I scrolled further, more messages, flirty, vague, but enough to make my chest ache. Meet me tonight, one read. Her reply, soon. Promise. I felt like I'd been punched. Was he Ethan? Was she cheating? I wanted to call her, scream, demand answers, but I stopped myself. If she was hiding something, I needed proof. That afternoon, I sat by the window watching Ethan's balcony. He was there again, smoking, his eyes locked on our building. I grabbed my laptop and searched his name. A few hits popped up, old forum posts about crypto trading, shady stuff about quick riches. Was he some kind of scammer? My phone buzzed again. Another text from the unknown number, the key unlocks the truth. Basement. Now. Key? What key? I tore through Emily's purse, my hands shaking. Tucked in a side pocket was a rusted metal key with a strange circular symbol etched into it. My pulse raced. Was this what the text meant? I didn't know if I was losing my mind or stumbling onto something real, but I couldn't ignore it. I waited until Emily was asleep that night, her soft breathing filling our bedroom. Slipping on a jacket, I grabbed the key and a flashlight, my heart hammering as I crept to the lobby. The building was quiet, the hum of the elevator the only sound. In the storage closet by the garage, I found it, a trapdoor, half hidden behind boxes, just like the text implied. The key fit perfectly, the lock clicking open with a groan. A damp, musty smell hit me as I descended a narrow staircase. My flashlight beam caught cobwebs and cracked stone walls. At the bottom was a small room and in the center, a table. On it were photos, me and Emily, candid shots like someone had been watching us for months. My throat tightened. Next to the photos was a single candle, unlit, and a folded note. I opened it, my hands trembling. In scrawled handwriting, they see everything. Leave now. I spun around, my flashlight darting across the shadows. Nothing. But at the far end of the room was a heavy door, chained shut with the same symbol as the key carved into it. I tugged at the chains, but they held fast. A faint whisper echoed behind me, go. I froze, my breath catching. No one was there, just shadows dancing in the flickering light. My flashlight sputtered, and for a split second, I swear I saw a figure in the corner, tall and thin, its outline blurring into the dark. I stumbled back, my heart in my throat, and bolted up the stairs, slamming the trapdoor behind me. Back in our apartment, I locked the door and sank to the floor, gasping. Emily was still asleep, oblivious. The photos, the note, that symbol, what did it mean? Was Ethan stalking us? Was Emily involved? And who sent those texts? I couldn't confront her yet, I needed more. But as I sat there, clutching that strange key, one thing was clear: my marriage, my home, my entire life, it was all a lie. And whatever was in that basement was watching. I barely slept after finding that trapdoor in the basement. The images of those candid photos, Emily and me laughing at a street fair, walking home from dinner, burned in my mind. Someone had been watching us, and the scrawled note, "They see everything," echoed like a warning I couldn't ignore. Was it Ethan, our creepy neighbor with the camera and knife? Or was Emily, my wife of 12 years, hiding something darker? I clutched the rusted key with its strange circular symbol, my only clue, as dawn crept through our Chicago apartment's blinds. Emily was already up, humming softly as she made coffee. Her auburn hair caught the morning light, and for a moment she looked like the woman I fell in love with at a bookstore 15 years ago when she'd teased me for buying a tax guide. But her trembling hands last night, her dodge when I mentioned Ethan, it all gnawed at me. I had to know the truth, but confronting her without proof could push her away for good. "Morning, Em," I said, forcing a smile. "Sleep okay?" She nodded, barely meeting my eyes. "Yeah, just stressed about a project." "You okay? You look tense." Her voice was warm, but there was an edge, like she was fishing for what I knew. I shrugged, sipping my coffee. "Just a rough night. Weird dreams." I watched her closely, but she just grabbed her phone and started scrolling, her fingers moving too fast. My chest tightened. I needed answers, and I wasn't waiting for another cryptic text to guide me. That afternoon, while Emily was at her studio, I went back to her phone. The passcode still worked, and my heart sank as I opened her messages. The thread with E was gone, deleted. But in her email, I found a draft she hadn't sent, addressed to an anonymous account. "I can't keep doing this. It's too much. Tell me it's worth it." My stomach churned. "Doing what?" I snapped a photo of the email with my phone, my hands shaking. Then I noticed her search history: Chicago building permits, old loop architecture, and, chillingly, how to erase digital footprints. What was she hiding? I couldn't sit still. I grabbed my laptop and dug deeper into Ethan Carter. His name popped up on a shady crypto forum tied to posts about untraceable investments and offshore wallets. One user called him a ghost who scams and vanishes. Was he running a hustle from that balcony, using his camera to spy? And was Emily caught up in it? My phone buzzed, snapping me out of my spiral. Another text from the unknown number: "She's meeting him tonight." Balcony. Watch. My blood ran cold. Tonight? I didn't tell Emily I was staying late at the office. Instead, I parked across the street from our high-rise, hidden in the shadows of a delivery van. At 9 p.m., I saw her step onto our balcony, a glass of wine in hand. She looked nervous, glancing around. Then, across the courtyard, Ethan appeared on his balcony, leaning casually against the railing. My fists clenched as Emily raised her glass slightly, a signal. Ethan nodded, tapped his phone, and slipped inside. It was subtle, but it hit like a sledgehammer. They were in this together. I wanted to storm up there, demand answers, but I needed more. Back home, Emily was already in bed, pretending to sleep. I waited until her breathing steadied, then slipped into the hallway with the key and my flashlight. The trapdoor in the lobby's storage closet creaked as I opened it again, the musty smell stronger this time. I descended, my flashlight cutting through the dark. The table was still there, but the photos were gone. In their place was a single USB drive labeled Truth. My pulse raced. Was this a trap? I pocketed it, my eyes darting to the chained door at the room's end. The symbol glowed faintly, or maybe it was my imagination. A low hum filled the air, like static, and the shadows seemed to shift. I backed away, my skin prickling, and ran upstairs. Back in our apartment, I plugged the USB into my laptop, my hands trembling. It held one file, a video. My heart stopped as it played, Emily and Ethan on his balcony, laughing, her hand brushing his arm. The camera zoomed in, catching her whispering, "He doesn't suspect anything." The video cut to black, and text appeared: $15,000 in crypto, or this goes viral. 48 hours. A Bitcoin address followed. I felt sick. Ethan wasn't just a creep, he was blackmailing her. But why? And what didn't I suspect? I confronted Emily the next morning, my voice shaking with rage. "What's this?" I held up my phone, showing the video still. Her face went pale and she sank onto the couch, tears welling. "Mark, I swear, it's not what you think," she choked out. "Ethan, he got in my head. He promised a better life, said we could start over. I never betrayed you, not like that. It was just talk." Her words stung, but her fear looked real. "He's dangerous, Mark. He showed me things, files, plans. He's part of something bigger." "Bigger how?" I pressed, my voice low. She hesitated, then whispered, "The basement. There's a network, people using the building for scams. Ethan said it's worth millions, but I didn't know it was blackmail until too late." I stared at her, torn between love and betrayal. Was she a victim or a liar? "Show me," I said finally. "Take me to the basement. Now." Emily nodded, her hands shaking as she grabbed her coat. We crept to the trapdoor, the key heavy in my pocket. As we descended, the air grew colder, the hum louder. The chained door loomed ahead, its symbol almost pulsing. Emily froze, her eyes wide. "I've been here before," she whispered. "Ethan brought me. He said the door hides something powerful." I tugged at the chains, but they wouldn't budge. Then a voice hissed from the shadows, "You shouldn't be here." I spun, flashlight swinging, but no one was there. Emily grabbed my arm, her nails digging in. "Mark, we need to go. Now." We scrambled upstairs, my mind racing. Back in the apartment, Emily broke down. "I'm sorry, Mark. Ethan made me think you didn't care, that I deserved more. I was stupid." I wanted to believe her, but the video, the basement, that voice, it was too much. My phone buzzed again. A new text, "You saw the door. Pay or she's next." Attached was a photo of Emily asleep in our bed, taken from inside our apartment. Someone had been here, watching. The photo of Emily asleep in our bed, snapped from inside our apartment, sent a chill down my spine. Someone had been here, in our home, while we slept. Ethan's blackmail wasn't just a threat, it was personal, invasive, and terrifying. My hands shook as I stared at the text, "Pay or she's next, $15,000 in crypto, 48 hours. I looked at Emily, her eyes red from crying, and felt a storm of emotions, betrayal, fear, and a flicker of the love we'd built over 12 years. Was she a victim of Ethan's schemes, or was she playing me too? I needed answers, and the basement's chained door was my only lead. "Mark, I didn't know he was this dangerous," Emily whispered, clutching her coffee mug the next morning. Her voice trembled, but I couldn't fully trust her, not after the video of her laughing with Ethan on his balcony, whispering, "He doesn't suspect anything." She swore it was just talk, that Ethan had manipulated her with promises of a glamorous life funded by his scams. But the photo, the USB drive, the note in the basement that said, "They see everything," it all pointed to something bigger. "A network," she'd said. I had to find out what. I kept my plan from Emily. If she was lying, I couldn't risk tipping her off. That afternoon, while she was at her studio, I grabbed my laptop and plugged in the USB drive again. The video file was still there, but I noticed a hidden folder labeled Network. Inside were encrypted files, financial records, email chains, and a name that stood out, Dr. Leonard Harris. A quick search revealed he was a disgraced surgeon stripped of his license years ago for unethical experiments. His last known address? Our building a decade ago. My pulse raced. Was Harris the they watching us? Was Ethan his pawn? The files mentioned Project Shadow, a scheme to fleece investors through fake crypto ventures, using our building as a front. One email from an anonymous account to Ethan read, "The door must stay locked. It's the key to everything." The door in the basement. My mind spun. What was behind it? Money? Evidence? Or something worse? I copied the files to a cloud drive, my hands sweaty. If this was as big as it seemed, I was in over my head. That night, I watched Emily closely. She was jumpy, checking her phone every few minutes. You okay?" I asked, keeping my tone soft. She forced a smile. "Just work stress." "I'm fine." But her eyes darted to the balcony, and I knew she was lying. I waited until she was asleep, then slipped out to the lobby. The trapdoor was still there, its lock gleaming in my flashlight's beam. I descended, the air colder, the hum from last time louder, like a pulse. The table was empty now, no USB, no note. But the chained door at the room's end seemed to draw me in, its circular symbol almost glowing. I tugged at the chains, my muscles straining, but they held fast. A faint click echoed behind me. I spun, flashlight sweeping the shadows. Nothing. Then, a whisper, low and sharp, "You can't open it." My heart leapt to my throat. "Who's there?" I called, my voice shaking. Silence. My flashlight flickered, and for a split second, I saw it, a tall, thin shape in the corner, its edges blurring into the dark. I blinked, and it was gone. My breath came in gasps. Was I losing it? Or was Ethan messing with me, using tricks to scare me off? I ran upstairs, locking the trapdoor, my mind racing. No more games. I needed proof. The next day, I hacked into Ethan's public Wi-Fi. Risky, but I was desperate. His cloud storage was a goldmine, more files on Project Shadow, including a video labeled Demo. It showed our building's basement, the chained door, and Ethan's voice narrating, the text hidden behind it. Investors will eat this up. Tech? Was the door a front for some high-tech scam? Another file mentioned Harris meeting Ethan tonight at a dive bar in Wicker Park. I had my chance. I told Emily I was grabbing drinks with a coworker, but instead, I staked out the bar from my car. At 10 p.m., Ethan showed up, his hood pulled low. A man in his 60s joined him, gray hair, sharp eyes. Harris. They spoke in hushed tones, Ethan gesturing wildly. I snapped photos with my phone, my heart pounding. As they left, Harris handed Ethan a small device, like a remote. Was this the tech from the video? I tailed Ethan back to our building, staying out of sight. He went straight to his apartment, but not before glancing at our balcony, as if he knew I was watching. Back home, Emily was waiting, her face pale. Mark, where were you? She asked, her voice sharp. I couldn't hold back. I know about Harris, I said, showing her the photos. What's Project Shadow, Em? What's behind that door? She froze, then burst into tears. I didn't want you involved, she sobbed. Ethan dragged me into this. He said Harris's tech could make us rich, but it's a lie. They're scamming people, and I helped. My jaw clenched. Helped how? She looked away. I fed Ethan info, your schedule, our habits. He said it was harmless. Her words hit like a knife. She'd betrayed me, not just emotionally, but systematically. Why? I whispered. I thought I wasn't enough, she said, her voice breaking. Ethan made me feel seen. But now he's using me, Mark. He's got videos, photos. He'll ruin us. I wanted to scream, but her fear stopped me. We're ending this, I said. Together. That night, my phone buzzed with another text. You met Harris. Bad move. Pay now or the videos go live. Attached was a new clip, me in the basement tugging at the chained door, filmed by a hidden camera. My stomach dropped. Ethan wasn't just watching, he was everywhere. But the final frame of the video made my blood run cold, a blurry image of that tall, thin shape I'd seen, its edges flickering like static. A single word flashed across the screen, run. The blurry image of that flickering shape in the basement video paired with the word run haunted me. Ethan's threat was clear, pay $15,000 in crypto or he'd leak videos of Emily's betrayal and my snooping. But the real terror was the sense that Ethan wasn't alone. Dr. Leonard Harris, the disgraced surgeon behind Project Shadow and that chained door in our building's basement hinted at a scam bigger than I could grasp. Emily's confession that she'd fed Ethan info about our lives cut deep, but her tears and fear made me believe she was trapped, not evil. I had to end this for both of us. I sat in our Chicago apartment, the city's neon glow seeping through the blinds. Emily was in the shower, her phone left on the counter. I resisted checking it again, trust was shattered, but I needed her help. The files I'd pulled from Ethan's cloud storage pointed to a fake crypto scheme with Harris's tech hidden behind that basement door as the bait for gullible investors. But why the blackmail? And what was that shape I'd seen? A trick or something Harris and Ethan were using to scare us? I contacted a friend, Tom, a cybersecurity guy I'd met at a conference. Over a secure call, I shared the files. Mark, this is heavy, he said, his voice low. These records show millions funneled through shell accounts. Harris is the brains, but Ethan's the muscle. That tech they're selling? Probably a rigged server or AI scam. Be careful. Tom agreed to tip off a detective he knew, but I couldn't wait for the police. Ethan's deadline was tomorrow. I devised a plan, pretend to pay Ethan, lure him to the basement, and catch him in the act. I texted the anonymous number, I'll pay. Tonight, 11 p.m. basement. Come alone. My heart pounded as I hit send. Emily emerged, her hair damp, eyes wary. Mark, what's going on? I showed her the text. We're trapping Ethan, I said. You in? She nodded, but her hesitation made my stomach twist. Could I trust her? We prepped in silence. I grabbed a flashlight and a heavy wrench from the toolbox, not for violence, but for protection. Emily clutched her phone, ready to call Tom if things went south. At 10:45 p.m., we crept to the lobby, the trapdoors lock glinting in the dim light. The detective, tipped off by Tom, was on standby nearby, but we had to move fast. The basement stairs creaked under our weight, the air thick with that familiar hum. The chained door loomed ahead, its symbol catching my flashlight's beam. Emily gripped my arm. Mark, this feels wrong. Before I could respond, footsteps echoed behind us. Ethan stepped into the light, his smirk cold. You're punctual, Mark. Got my money. His hand held a small remote like the one Harris had given him at the bar. No knife this time, but his eyes were sharp, dangerous. Show me the transfer, he said. I held up my phone, faking a crypto app. First, tell me what's behind the door, I stalled, glancing at Emily. She was pale, her hands trembling. Ethan laughed, a hollow sound. You think you're smart? That door's our ticket to Harris's tech, a gold mine. You're just collateral. He raised the remote and the hum intensified, the shadows shifting. My skin prickled. Was this his trick? A projector, speakers, like Tom suggested? Or something worse? Emily knows, Ethan taunted. She's been helping me from the start. I turned to her, my heart sinking. Her eyes widened. No, Mark, I swear. Enough. I snapped, my voice echoing. I lunged for the remote, but Ethan dodged, shoving me against the table. The wrench clattered to the floor. Emily screamed, stop, and grabbed Ethan's arm, but he pushed her back, her head grazing the wall. Rage surged through me. I tackled him, pinning his wrists. You're done, Ethan. I shouted. He writhed, but I held tight, my knee on his chest. The remote skidded across the floor, and the hum stopped. The shadows stilled. Emily scrambled to her feet, tears streaming. Mark, I didn't help him like that. He forced me. She grabbed her phone, dialing Tom. The detective's coming, she cried. Ethan laughed, chillingly calm. You're too late. Harris is gone, and the tech's secure. You'll never touch us. His words chilled me. Was Harris watching, pulling strings? A spark flared near the table, old wires, disturbed in our struggle, ignited a pile of papers. Smoke curled upward, the air growing thick. Mark, we have to go. Emily yelled, coughing. I dragged Ethan toward the stairs, his wrists still pinned. The flames spread, licking the walls. We stumbled up, the trapdoor slamming shut behind us. Outside, sirens wailed, Tom's detective had arrived. 2 officers cuffed Ethan, his smirk fading as they read his rights. You'll regret this, he spat, but I didn't care. He was caught. The fire department contained the blaze, but the basement was a charred mess. The chained door, somehow, stood untouched, its symbol gleaming through the soot. The detective, a gruff woman named Ruiz, took our statements. We've got Ethan on blackmail and fraud, she said. Your files helped. But Harris? He's a ghost. We'll keep looking. I nodded, but unease gnawed at me. Harris was out there, and that door, what was it hiding? Back at our apartment, Emily collapsed on the couch, sobbing. I'm so sorry, Mark. I thought Ethan's promises were real. I was stupid. I sat beside her, torn. I remembered our first date, her laugh as we shared a milkshake at a diner. That Emily felt so far away now. Why didn't you tell me? I asked, my voice hoarse. She wiped her eyes. I was scared. He had videos, Mark, not just of me, but you. He said he'd ruin us. I wanted to forgive her, but the pain was raw. My phone buzzed. A new email, no sender. It held a video of me in the basement, struggling with Ethan, filmed by a hidden camera. Text scrolled across the screen, you burned nothing. We're watching. My blood ran cold. The basement was destroyed, how is this possible? I showed Emily and she gasped. Mark, there's more. Ethan wasn't alone. Harris had others in the building. Her words hit like a freight train. The network was bigger and we were still in its crosshairs. The email with the video of me in the basement, captioned, you burned nothing. We're watching, sent a jolt of fear through me. Ethan was in custody, the basement a charred ruin, yet someone, Dr. Leonard Harris or his network, was still out there. Emily's words echoed in my head, Ethan wasn't alone. Harris had others in the building. My Chicago apartment, once a haven for me and Emily, felt like a trap. After 12 years of marriage, betrayal had cracked our foundation, but the fight wasn't over. I had to end this, not just for us, but to stop Harris's scam from hurting others. The morning after the fire, Emily and I sat in a hotel, the city skyline muted through the window. Her eyes were puffy from crying, her hands wrapped around a cold coffee. Mark, I'll do whatever it takes to fix this, she said, her voice raw. I wanted to believe her, but the pain of her feeding Ethan our secrets, my schedule, our habits, still stung. I remembered our wedding day, her smile as we danced under string lights. Could we rebuild? We'll figure it out, I said, but my voice lacked conviction. First, I had to stop Harris. I uploaded the files from Ethan's cloud storage, Project Shadow's records, emails, and the basement videos to a secure server and sent them to Detective Ruiz. She called an hour later. Good work, Mark. These tie Ethan to a fraud ring and we've got leads on Harris. He's been spotted in Indiana. Stay put and don't play hero. I nodded, but staying put wasn't an option. If Harris's network was still active, they knew where we were. The hotel felt exposed, every creak in the hall making me jump. I dug into the files again, cross-referencing names. One stood out, Carla Reyes, a tenant in our building who'd moved out last year. Her email was CC'd on Project Shadow correspondence, and a news article linked her to Harris's old medical practice. Was she the others Emily mentioned? I showed Emily the article. She frowned, biting her lip. Carla, she was friendly with Ethan. I saw them talking once, thought it was nothing. Her voice wavered. Mark, what if she's still watching us? I didn't wait for answers. I tracked Carla's last known address to a rundown office in West Loop. Posing as a delivery guy, I scoped the place, a small suite with a flickering Reyes Consulting sign. Through the window, I saw her, mid-40s, sharp-eyed, typing furiously. A man joined her, Harris, his gray hair unmistakable. My heart raced. I snapped photos and sent them to Ruiz, my hands trembling. They're here, I texted. West Loop, now. Back at the hotel, Emily was pacing. Mark, this is too dangerous, she pleaded. Let the police handle it. But I couldn't stop. They invaded our home, Em. They don't get to walk away. She nodded, tears falling. Then I'm helping. I owe you that. Her resolve surprised me, a glimpse of the fierce woman I'd married. We brainstormed, piecing together the scam. Harris used fake tech demos to lure investors, Ethan ran the blackmail, and Carla managed the accounts. The basement door? Likely a prop to sell the illusion of revolutionary tech. That night, Ruiz called. We raided the office. Carla's in custody, but Harris slipped away. Ethan's talking, he claims Harris rigged the basement with cameras and speakers to scare people. No tech, just smoke and mirrors. I exhaled, relief mixing with dread. Harris was still out there. But Ethan's confession explained the flickering shape, the whispers, psychological tricks, not supernatural. Still, the we're watching email gnawed at me. I took a risk. Using Ethan's hacked cloud account, I sent a fake email to Harris's anonymous address. Ethan's out. Meet me at the building, midnight. Bring the funds. It was a long shot, but if Harris showed, Ruiz could nab him. Emily insisted on coming, her jaw set. I helped start this mess. I'm ending it. At 11:30 p.m., we hid in the lobby, Ruiz and 2 officers crouched nearby. The burned-out basement was sealed, but the trapdoor's lock gleamed, untouched by the fire. At midnight, a figure approached, Harris, alone, a briefcase in hand. My pulse pounded as Ruiz signaled her team. Leonard Harris, you're under arrest, she barked, lights flooding the lobby. Harris froze, then bolted for the stairs, but an officer tackled him, cuffs clicking. The briefcase spilled open, laptops, drives, and stacks of cash. It's over, Ruiz said, hauling him up. Harris's eyes met mine, cold and unyielding. You have no idea what you've started, he hissed. In the days that followed, the pieces fell into place. Ethan pleaded guilty to fraud and blackmail, facing years in prison. Carla confessed to laundering funds, implicating Harris in a multi-state scam. Harris was charged with fraud, extortion, and tax evasion, his tech exposed as a rigged server in a rented warehouse. The basement door, Ruiz confirmed, hid nothing but props, cameras, speakers, and fake equipment to fool investors. The symbol was just a logo Harris designed to seem mystical. Emily and I tried to salvage our marriage, but the scars ran deep. She started therapy, grappling with Ethan's manipulation and her own choices. I forgave her, but trust was a ghost. We separated, agreeing to rebuild as friends, maybe more someday. I moved to a new apartment, the city's hum a fresh start. But the shadows lingered, every creak made me check the locks. I turned my pain into purpose, launching a blog, Scam Shadows, to warn others about fraud and manipulation. My first post, How I Lost Everything and Fought Back, went viral, sparking comments from others who'd faced similar betrayals. It wasn't closure, but it was hope. Emily sent me a text one night, I'm proud of you. I'm trying too. I smiled, a flicker of the old US. Weeks later, a final email arrived, no sender. Just a photo, the chained door, unburned, its symbol glowing. No text, no threat. I deleted it, my hands steady. Harris was gone, his network dismantled. The shadows were just that, shadows. But as I walked Chicago's streets, I couldn't shake one thought. If Harris was right, what had I started?